Hey everybody, Hostrone here with another first edition Friday video for you. It's All Good Things Remastered release day today. If you haven't gone to the Trek CC website recently, you may not know that, but if you do know that, then you will also know that we've been spoiling the set over this week. And so, if you haven't followed that, I suggest you pause the video and go back and catch up. If you have been keeping up, I will still suggest that you pause this video and go check out my article that should have dropped this morning as well. The article will focus on a couple of the cards from the remastered set. You want to read that article, and then the deck list that we're going to talk about is going to be in that article as well. So go ahead and I'll take a moment here for you to pause the video and go read the article. Okay, so welcome back if you went and read the article. Let's go ahead and just dive in to it then. So we'll shuffle up our missions. We get our demilitarized zone region mission in the Alpha Quadrant. Let's assume that we have an Alpha Quadrant opponent, and then they just go, oh, that looks like it's going to be a region, so let's just go ahead and be on the other side of it. So we're going to assume that the opponent goes this direction, and we're going to go this direction. So then we get our 8 clone colony right away, and under the new text, of course Locky doesn't have it yet when I'm recording this, it will download the copy of Send In the Clones. And I believe that's when you solve. And so, so when you solve, it'll download it, and then you'll be able to get the person. So, yep. All right. Just so that we're all aware. In the Q's tent, we have a copy of, oh gosh, which card was it that I was going to replace? That's right, the science pad was going to come out of the deck and was going to be the copy of Send In the Clones, or the science pad was going to go to the draw deck. I can't remember which it is. I think the science pad was coming out of the deck. Yeah, science pad comes out of the deck. This is our copy of Send In the Clone. Okay. Alrighty then. And then we continue on, and we get another demilitarized zone region mission, which we'll just put here. And then we get our Gamma Quadrant mission over here. Opponent keeps going in their direction because they definitely don't want to mess with getting missions caught over here. Another demilitarized zone region mission. We definitely want to put this planet next to. Well, we know the last one is going to be 30 point whatever. But Officer Nav Treachery versus that one. Diplomacy to Leadership. It's also 3-span. We'll put this one here, and then lastly we get our Investigate Maquis Activity, which is 2-span. I don't think we want all our planets right next to each other. But we can also kind of do, because it kind of puts all our spaces on one side. Because we don't even know if we're going to do this mission. Yeah, let's put, actually we should have put this one here then. And then we can put Investigate Maquis Activity here. Because this gives us our 3 missions that we're going to attempt. All right, and then we go to dilemmas, and we have combos. So let's just put our space combos out first. It doesn't matter, we don't know where the opponent is. I'm just going to put these out here. So we got our personal duty into our friendly fire, into Cytherians. We have Arsenal divided, cloud, personal individuality, for dual combos, we have the tried and true Emenian misinterpreted rules that can be put in basically any order. The order you want to put them in probably coincides with what you think you're facing. With Vidian being like all the rage right now, like they beat this dilemma like really easily, but then they struggle with these other two, so you put this one first. Let them, just snag the kill, and then they probably walk through it, but then they get held up on those two. And then our next dual combo is the this one right here. It is that we kill science command stars first, then regular science, and then after that, if there are no science there or whatever, then we just kill command stars. And then for planet, we have this lovely little combo right here, where if they somehow were smart enough to leave transporter skill behind on a ship that we can kill, we try to kill that, makes the Jolly Chew hit, we target their biologies, and then that makes medical crisis that much harder. And then our other planet is the all the new hot rage combo of nuclear vessels into standoff. And then once we get into post dilemma phase, we will stick our Kobayashi Maru scenario onto it, and oh my gosh, I didn't. That's annoying. Okay, then we stick our Kobayashi Maru scenario onto that mission. So it basically functions like it's our third dilemma. And as a matter of strategy, you would actually want this to be like to going on the mission that you think the opponent is going to attempt, probably attempt first, because, I mean, it doesn't really matter because this other planet combo here is really stout. I mean, this is a really stout combo. Really punishes people. So, it doesn't really matter. But given the fact that your opponent coming up with four anthropology and or 4 security classifications, something that's going to be harder for them early in the game, means that this combo might be better. This little combo here might be better earlier in the game. It's just a thought. Okay. All right. We put our Federation outpost here. We put Deep Space Nine way the heck over here. No, I think we put it here. Let's see here, 3, 6, 7. No, Not quite sure actually. 367. Three, 6, 9, 10. I mean, the Enterprise can get all the way there. It has 10 range. So I think we do just put it right here. And then coming the other direction is 3, 6, 9, 11 though. When we start coming back the other direction. Yeah, I think we do need to just put it here. No, we need to just put it here because then like our early play Maquis. Now our early play Maquis can go here, and then our late play Maquis can go here. But I mean, we can staff the Enterprise. So yeah, let's just go here with it. All right, and then we put our sights out. There, boink, 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 and boink. All right. Okay, we can put study divergent history onto the guest quarters. And then after that, we basically got like our Federation flagship. It gets us the Enterprise. We can assign mission specialist to put our specialists into play. And then our treaty. Continuing mission gets us our, they call themselves the Maquis, which gets us our art of diplomacy and defending our homes. We put out our Bajoran resistance cell, and then we can put out our defend homeworld and our bluegill infestation, and we put our 7 people on it. At the time that I'm recording this, I haven't decided which of the 7 people in the deck you want to do. I don't know that it really matters. You can basically just choose 7 people. So, I mean, I'm recording the video first before I've actually written the article, because the article is the thing that I don't want to write that like after I've done this video. By the time I write the article, I will have decided which 7 people. So you'll see the 7 people in the article, because I will update the deck list to make sure that it includes it. But it doesn't really matter in my opinion. Probably the thing you want to do, because we're not really playing a battle deck, we don't really need to necessarily extend certain people's strength. Maybe we want to just kind of cover the weak people. And so, like, Lita is probably a good choice. Quark is probably a good choice. Rebecca Sullivan's probably a good choice. We just want to make it so that like our average goes up, would be my opinion on that matter. With maybe the exception being that since we have like all the people that we have like 2 copies of, we're that much more likely to get them into play. And so like Cermak, Ren, Geordi, Picard would probably be good choices as well. Kira Nerys is a good choice because, you know, she's got more than 1 copy of the deck. So I'll figure it out. It'll be in the article. If you stop the video and you went back and read the article, you've seen it already. So you'll know what I've decided already. But just, you know, behind the scenes, full disclosure here, at the time that I'm recording the video, I haven't decided yet who those people are going to be. So you put your people on there, and then that concludes our seed phase. So then we shuffle up. Oh, that's pretty good. That's actually pretty good. So they can report to Bajor region planet or whatever. Okay, so Surmak Ran is medical, and he reports for free with Bajoran resistance cell to the infirmary. That gets us a card draw. Oh wait, they have to be Deep Space Nine to get the card draw, so never mind on that. So he plays for free there, and then Geordi plays for free to the Enterprise E. Then we will free play the Zeppelite Freighter to the docking ports. And then I suppose we're going to card play J. And because it's worth more to us, and we pulled the staffing for the Enterprise, we will defend Homeworld for Kira. Because the options are basically we either want the married couple or we want to get, I mean, typically the married couple is our priority. But since we have the ability to staff the Enterprise right away, then we can just Kira. So yeah, that's right. I made that mistake. That was the mistake I made. Is that Kira can't report? That's right. This primary turbo lift was supposed to be. This is supposed to be ops. That's what it was. I knew I was messing something up, because you don't get the card draw from that. So again, that'll be corrected in the deck list that I post. So Kira downloads to ops because you can't get any card draws off of that, so it doesn't matter. That's not supposed to be. That was in an earlier version of this deck, and then when I completely redesigned it to do Enterprise E with it. So never mind. Yeah, so we download that, and then we will just, in the deck, we have one copy of that. So we'll draw 2 cards, we'll stick that there and draw 2. We've already downloaded a person this turn, so we're gonna play that. It gets removed, and we're gonna download the Holo program out of the deck. So that's gonna go onto our ship. And then we're going to be able to just load up onto the Enterprise, fly here to Deep Space Nine. We'll put these 2 guys in the guest quarters. We can download Geordi's eyes as well. And then we could have simply had him look at this mission while we were there. We would have done that before we left. And then we'll stop these 2 to draw a card, and we will use the guest quarters ability. No, I don't have a VIP there, do I? Never mind. So we'll stop to draw a card, and then we're going to just draw a card to end the turn. And then the opponent has their turn, then we have our turn. So we go. Oh, that's why, because I have all these dumb civilians that have to report. So that's why I was doing it that way. I have all these dumb civilians that have to report. So Kira Nerys is actually the oddball here in the deck. Yeah, she's the oddball that I just can't download. Well, you can download I could download her to the. Oh, that's the thing. I could download her to the Fed Outpost. That's what it was. If I'm supposed to do that. So yeah, it is supposed to be primary turbo lift. Because that's the thing. If we download her with Defend Homeworld, she just reports to the Federation Outpost. Because of the compatibility being allowed. So that's what it was. Derp. So we would have downloaded her before we even flew. That's what it was. Okay. So yeah, we're back on track here. The turbo lift is supposed to be here because it's supposed to be catching all of these random like civilians and whatever. Yeah, the infirmary. I don't know why I went with the infirmary then, because it doesn't really matter. Like Cermak ran and other ones, it doesn't really matter. I don't need the medical, but okay. Oh, that's right. I put the infirmary just in case we wanted to stick another clone machine onto it. That's what it was. And you build a deck like a couple, like you know, and then you like play several rounds of other tournaments with other decks, and then you just like totally forget what your decision making was. All right, so yeah, we play him for free. We can play Data for free to the Enterprise. We can card play if we want to now. We could card play the clone machine. I don't feel like we're going to attempt yet, because we're still going to be stopping people for card draws and whatnot. So, yeah. So we'll just play. Well, she plays for free on the next turn if we don't draw one. So yeah, we'll play a clone machine, and that'll just go on to. That'll go on to the infirmary since we're here, and we can just move Dr. Farek over, and we can just have anybody else come over to here. We will download. Let's download our Bajoran on Dominion this time. Here and draw 2. That's pretty cool. And then we'll be able to stop for a draw, and then we will take our end of turn draw. And then we would get to turn 3. We would get to turn 3 and we would finally draw a Maquis personnel. So we would have a Maquis personnel for free in the demilitarized zone. We would have our free resistance personnel. We would have our free Enterprise E personnel, and then we could play Jean-Luc Picard, and then we would download this here to draw 2. We haven't downloaded anyone, so we would holodeck door and download Anastasia. To the Federation Outpost. And then we would be good to go. We know what we would know what the first dilemma here is, and then what we would also want to probably do is just simply take our Zippolite freighter with us, So we fly like both ships, the 3, the 6, and the 9 to the Fed outpost so that we have multiple ships. And so if that's our plan, and we have Anastasia's like smoke bomb to get us out of trouble. Of course, be mindful of shapeshift inhibitor now. Just gonna put that out there. Since it's release day, you will also be able to see the full list of cards in the set and how shapeshift inhibitor has been altered and is now legal again for play under its new text, which means that escape, when you would want to download an escape, it would be a valid response. However, Anastasia's smoke bomb is not a valid response unless you're downloading it for the first function at the start of a personnel battle. In which case, that shapeshift inhibitor doesn't even apply anyway because it's not being done during an attempt. So, if the opponent, like, Anastasia's smoke bomb is no longer reliable now that shapeshift inhibitor is back. But if your opponent's not playing with a ref tent, I wouldn't worry about it. If they want to burn an entire seed slot for that, to shut that down, good for them. We have no non-aligned personnel except for these two. I mean, we're going to probably just leave McKay behind with someone. And then we'll have Dr. Ferrick be our non-aligned command star, and we could just leave leader medical bioengineer. Like, she doesn't really have that, and what she has is kind of covered by other people. So we could leave Kira Nerys behind, and we would probably just take these 3. And so then that gives us all the people that we need to staff both ships and to fly to here with both ships, and we pick his stupid self up along the way. And then on turn 3, we would be able to, like, figure out who needs to do what, and then attempt the mission. And then end of turn, and then during the turn after we make that attempt, then Kira and McKay can, you know, study each other's history for a card draw, and then we would draw to end the turn. And then we would just simply go from there as to how the game just kind of plays out. But of course, I mean, turn 4 would be and Hayeka here, Linalis back here, unfortunately. And then we would probably play Leitner for free, and then our card play is likely just to be the assault vessel. The reason why is that we can then choose to bring them if we want to, give up the card draw, bring them in, because they can fly to here, and then the Zeppelite freighter could go pick them up and come back to here, and then the Enterprise E has all these missions available to it for us to attempt. And then, you know, from this point forward in the game, it's basically just, you know, pushing through dilemmas intelligently. We would, of course, before we would do that, we would just go get our last one of those, or maybe we have one more in the deck. Can't remember if I put another one in. No, we do have space. We should probably put another one in the deck, so that might change in the deck list as well. Take the 2 draws off of it. assuming we don't have to bring them on turn 4, we'd be able to stop for a card draw, and then depending on if we like solve the space mission and then move to the planet mission, we can leave the lovers behind and they'd be able to stop for a card draw, and then we would draw to end the turn. And so we're like, our card draw mechanisms are still going, and of course Jordy's eyes would be able to look at our first planet mission, our first planet dilemma here, and so forth. So, but yeah, that's the deck. Assuming that we completed a clone colony, we'd be able to download Send In the Clones. And as I mentioned in the article about Send In the Clones, it basically is an offloading of the text. It's been changed slightly, so it's actually a little bit better now. But I can't go into the specifics because it's supposed to come out in the next set in the winter time or spring. Like I've been told that they're shooting for February, but that's not a guarantee. So the next set that comes out will have the Send In the Clones. So so there is unfortunately going to be this like little period of time where I guess technically this mission doesn't work under the new text. So under the errata text. So I take that for what it is. Fortunately, we're not in tournament season, so and I don't know many people are playing with Aid Clone Colony like, you know, in serious decks or anything like that here in the off season anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. And I've been, like I said, I've been assured that it's in the next set, so you'll get to see exactly what it does and how it's been expanded. So I think it's been expanded in a good way from what I saw, so it's something to look forward to, that it's being offloaded onto a card, and then that card will be able to be played outside of just a clone colony. That you'll be able to kind of, in a sense, turn other missions that are like a clone colony into a clone colony like missions. So it's pretty cool. We'll just have to wait for that to come out here in a few months. So, alright, hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. If you still chose to watch the video before reading the article, now go back and read the article, I suppose. The full and final deck list will be posted there. I think the only thing I really need to do, now that I see this and stuff, is I maybe just need to add one more. I think I may have just simply forgot to add in the one more Bajoran Cardassian espionage card, and then we just need to finalize who's going on the Blue Gilt Infestation. But I do think that the Blue Gilt Infestation is relevant for a deck like this if you've got just a random seed slot, because it makes you stronger against battle. Technically speaking, the 7 people that you select, because they're coming in from outside the game, they are actually coming in from outside the game. They're not just like, you don't put it just in like you're outside the game in your deck list. The deck list doesn't even, I mean, the 7 people that you choose, you can decide when you start the game, because I don't, God, I can't remember the rule on that. I may have to just double check that before I post a list, but I don't know that you have to choose them. You get, because they're coming in from outside the game, I think you get to just basically select them when you start the game, because they're coming from outside the game. They're not actually necessarily technically part of your deck list. So I'll have to double check that. That's a good thought. I may have an answer for that in the article when I write the article and post it. But this is exactly why I wanted to, like, fishbowl the deck for you guys before I even write the article. So when I catch stuff like this, I catch thoughts like this. So But the Beluga Infestation I think is relevant because a deck like this, the ability to like make your people just a little bit stronger for passing strength-based dilemmas, but then also just being harder for an opponent to punch you, I think is relevant. There's quite a few people that when you give them an additional +5, because it's 7 unique people, but it's 7 unique personnel, so it's personnel cards, and so you can actually put Mr. and Mrs. Troy on there as a way to cheat that a little bit. But I don't know that you'd want to put them on there. But like unique personnel like John Luke, where he goes from a 6 to an 11, gets pretty good. Jordy goes from a 6 to an 11. I know Shakar Eden, when he hits play, he's boosting your Bajorans, which is why having Kira Nerys, who you're probably going to have out in a lot of games, she goes to a 13, and then when he's in play, he's a 15. Makes her pretty potent. So, yeah, that'll be in the final deck list. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, please like and subscribe. May the profits be with you.